What up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. Vinnie-Dangerous, and I'm back with another installment of the Dangerous Minds podcast. We're on episode 24. Yes, I Am a Dreamer is still out now on every digital platform of stores and streaming services. I'd like to give a big shout out to J. Cole for dropping his record, For Your Eyes Only, an amazing record. I got done listening to it last night. I loved it. It's got to be like top 5 best albums of the year. And also I got to give a shout out to Ab-Soul. I didn't really like Ab-Soul's last record, but this one right here is everything that I've been wanting from him since Control System. So I like to give a shout out to both of them. A lot of dope music came out on Friday, and I got to take some time to listen to all of it. I got to get to Tech Nine's record next, and I got to get to Yasin Bey, formerly known as Mos Def's new album that dropped yesterday. So here we go. Those are the big newsworthy things that come out this week. But another thing was announced that, got a little bit of buzz, but not as much as it usually gets, and that's the Grammys. The Grammy nominations came out this year for the 59th annual event, and it's really not been that big of an uproar like it has been for the last couple of years. I guess because the people that are nominated, really not too many people have that many complaints about, at least in the categories and concerning the genres and the artists that I'm familiar with. So the circles that, I speak to don't really have a big toss-up. A lot of artists like Dram, which I actually was a big fan of his album this year, to be honest. And like Designers, Panda was nominated. People were upset about that. People were upset at Lil Yachty. I think he was nominated for a Grammy. I posed this question. A few days ago. Actually, the day the nominees were announced. And I asked, do the Grammys really even matter anymore? Because we all know the history of the Grammys. We know how it's essentially a popularity contest. Who's on the Billboard charts for the longest, who's running radio at the moment, as far as like mainstream, avenues and venues and stuff like that. Who's the guy, the people that are most newsworthy. So it's not necessarily the best albums, the best songs, and the best artists being celebrated. There's so many admissions when you look at hip-hop's history. It's ridiculous. Artists like Snoop Dogg and Nas have never won Grammys, but the Black Eyed Peas have won hip-hop Grammys. I could even go down the line and say that there's sometimes that Eminem has won Grammys that I don't think he should have won. I would have to go through the history of it. I'm not saying that he wasn't well deserving majority of the time or a lot of the time that he was there. I know majority and a lot was the same. Bear with me. I'm trying to record this early enough so I don't have to go through a whole lot of re-records and stuff. But I would just say that the Grammys, more times than not, don't get it right. But it's the Grammys. It's just like the BET Awards, just like the MTV Music Awards. It's just like the VMAs, the American Music Awards. There's so many of them now, like iHeartRadio Music Awards. There's so many different awards out here now, and they all kind of celebrate the same thing. They celebrate who's popular, who's, the hottest thing running right now. So, with that aside, that little speech aside, there were, just like I said, I looked at the nominations myself, and I noticed that there was not a lot of people that I was too upset about being nominated. A lot of, taking in account of what I just mentioned to you. When you look at the year of 2016, well, late 2015, early 2016, because the time duration for eligibility is September 30th of the previous year and October up till October 1st. Well, no, October 1st of the previous year up until September 30th of the current year. So any albums that came out between October 1st, 2015 and September 30th, 2016 were eligible to be nominated for the 2017 Grammys. You know, I just kind of confused myself. So if people are kind of wondering why some of these songs are so old or some of these albums are old, it's because they were in the eligibility realm of time. And just to be flat out blunt about it, who knows, in the pop realm or in the mainstream realm of music, maybe not a lot of other people came out just as hot. And it's really just about who got the more money and who got the bigger marketing and all this other stuff too. But with that in mind, I'm not really too, keeping that in mind, I'm not really too hurt about a lot of these Grammy nominations like I was previous years. I noticed that there wasn't really a great white hope this year. The year before, like 2 years ago, it was Macklemore and Ryan Lewis. Last year's Grammys, it was Iggy Azalea. But this year, we didn't really get anybody. I guess they were rooting for G-Eazy, but even G-Eazy fans wasn't rooting for him that hard to where he could get that Grammy nomination. Justin Bieber is up here for a few nominations, which the Justin Bieber record, for what it wasn't that bad to me. So, and I'm not really a big Justin Bieber fan, why do black people hate chainsaws? Like, I don't care what you try to say. I don't care how many songs he tries to put out. I don't care how much of a redemption story you try to tag on to this motherfucker in the media. I will never, ever respect Justin Bieber. It's kind of like what I say about wrestling, right? I know there's racist wrestlers, but I kind of suspend my belief when I watch wrestling. So the character I'll watch. Just the person, if I saw him in the street, I'll probably spit in his face. I don't know if that makes sense to a lot of people. That's just kind of how I rationalize it. But of the 10 categories that I'm going to make my picks for today, because it is my top 10 picks of who I want to win at the 59th Grammys. And matter of fact, I'll do both. I'll do the top 10 who I want to win, and then the top 10 of who I think is going to win. Because in some categories, it's who I want to win and who I think will win are honestly two different things. So, let's do a rundown of the categories. I'd like to give a big shout out to Chance the Rapper, who was nominated 7 times, and Beyonce is nominated 9 times. Of course, she's, it's kind of like a given when Beyonce has a new record out, she's going to get like a hell of a lot of nominations, which are well deserved. So, there's no hate to that, but it's kind of like it's a given, And the albums that I really, songs and albums I really feel like shouldn't even be up here is Drake, Views, Designers, Panda. I mean, it's a popular song and all, but I could think of a lot more popular hip-hop songs that could have filled up that 5th spot in the best rap song and rap performance categories. I don't think Kanye West Famous should be up here. It's more controversy than a good song, in my personal opinion. And the one that surprised me, I'm not going to necessarily say it shouldn't have been here, but All the Way Up with Fat Joe and Remy Ma. I think it's really, on one hand, I think it's really dope that Fat Joe and Remy Ma got to get a Grammy nomination. I don't think they'll win that category, but I thought it was pretty dope that they got the nod. So I thought that was pretty cool. So, and also let me just make sure I make it abundantly clear the reason why I picked these 10 Grammy categories. I said it in the description, but it's because I'm not really versed in a lot of the categories. I may be fans of certain albums. I really like David Bowie's album. I like the Chainsmokers. I like, different genres of music. But it'll be very unfair for me to be like, I feel like this person deserves it over this person if I'm not really too versed in the other albums and the other artists that are in the category. And if I'm not really that deep into the genre, I may have my picks, but I may have my people that I listen to, but for the most part, I'm not really that big on the genre as a whole. So I'm not going to like speak on it like I really know what I'm talking about and saying I feel like they deserve it over this person. But yeah. So we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna spend half of it explaining it, half this podcast explaining it. So let's go on with it. So for album of the year, let's list them off. Album of the year: Adele's 25, Beyonce's Lemonade, Justin Bieber's Purpose, Drake's Views, and Sturgill Simpson's A Sailor's Guide to Earth. Now, before anybody say anything, because I butchered his name just now, I actually took the time to listen to this one before, going into this podcast episode. And I thought it was actually a pretty good album. Pretty dope alternative album. But if I got to think of the fact that it was kind of like out of left field, I mean, they could do like they did last year and like how they had Beck win, which people were so confused, like, oh my God, I don't understand it. I would have to give it to either Adele or Beyonce. I doubt Justin Bieber has gotten his clout up in Hollywood to really get this nod, especially not the biggest award in the Grammy category. Out of all the Grammy categories, this is the biggest one in a lot of people's eyes. And I don't see him getting it. It would be a fucking crime if Drake gets it, because that is not a good album. I don't care how many records it broke. I don't care how many times it spent number one on the charts. It was not a good album. It was not a good album. It had its songs, but it was 20 tracks, and I might have liked 7 out of 20. That does not make a good album. And Sturgill, he might have a chance, because of what we saw from Beck. I'm not really too versed on the guy. I thought it was a pretty good album, so I really wouldn't be that hurt if he won. But that's just who I feel like is probably going to take it, is between Beyonce or Adele, most likely. What's the next one I got out here? Song of the year: Beyonce, Formation, Adele, Hello, Mike Posner, I Took a Pill in Ibiza. It's funny because I've heard this song because they played it at work a lot, and I didn't realize they played it at work a lot. Justin Bieber, Love Yourself, Lucas Graham, 7 Years. I gotta give it to Adele. I like the Beyonce record. I like the Lucas Graham record. I actually like the Justin Bieber record. The Mike Posner record, I might not even like that one because they play it at work. So it's irritating to listen to now because they play it all day, every day, up until this month because all they play is Christmas music now. But, I think Adele had the bigger record. I think Formation was a really good record. But I think, and then especially because of the backlash she got for the Super Bowl performance, and because of how people felt about the video with the cop car and stuff like it had a lot of controversy. And the people that make these votes on the Grammys are not really the people that are going to be on like for Beyonce's message. So I would say if you want to predict it, I would give the award to Adele. Which, I mean, it was a dope song. It got irritating after a while because they played it on the radio a million times a day. But I gotta say, I like the song when it first came out, so I wouldn't be mad if it won. To be perfectly honest, best new artist. This one, I like the Chainsmokers, Chance the Rapper, Anderson .Paak, Kelsey Baloney, and Maren Morris. Okay, there's two people in this category I'm not really that versed in, so that kind of negates what I said earlier. But I would just give it a chance. The fact that he was able to start a movement to change a rule in the Grammys that made him eligible to even be part of this, I feel like just because of that monumental feat, they'll go ahead and give it to him. My second pick would be Anderson .Paak, and third, if not those two, the Chainsmokers. Anderson .Paak had to be, regardless of genre, he put out one of the best albums all year, in my opinion. I like the Chainsmokers record too. It had a couple hits and miss. I mean, it had a couple misses, but for the most part, it was pretty good. But I'd have to give it a chance just because of his efforts in getting the Grammys to change their rule. What was another one before I go into like specific categories? No, I'm gonna go ahead and go into the rap category. Best rap performance. Now, this always confused the hell out of me. Are they talking about music video? Are they talking? Well, no, because Pop Style didn't get a music video. I don't know what the difference is between rap performance and best rap song. Like, that never made any sense to me. But, I'll digress. Chance the Rapper featuring Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz, No Problems. Designer, Panda. Drake featuring Jay-Z and Kanye West. Pop Style, All the Way Up by French Montana, Fat Joe, Remy Ma, and Schoolboy Q featuring Kanye West on that part. Now, I would like to give it, like I said, I like the fact that Fat Joe and Remy Ma are getting a nomination, especially after this is like Remy Ma getting out of jail. This is her year after that. So for her to, her real first big record since coming home is nominated for a Grammy, I thought that was pretty dope. I really don't understand why out of all the Drake songs that came out this year, why did they give it to Pop Style? Jay-Z dropped 2 bars and Kanye West drops one of his worst verses I've heard from him. Well, yeah, it's pretty much one of the worst verses I've heard from him this year. And then the version without neither one of them and just Drake is not that much better. Schoolboy Q featuring Kanye, I thought that was kind of weird. I would have actually thought they would have gave it to the track with Miguel and Justine Skye, Overtime. I thought they would have gave it to that one if you pick a Schoolboy Q record of the two, but probably because of Kanye West. And, I love that song. I love that video, so I wouldn't be mad if they took it. If I had to choose between any of these, I would say Chance. I would probably say Chance first, maybe Schoolboy Q, because Kanye West is nominated. But I think most likely it's probably either going to go to Drake or maybe even Designer. And I think if they give it to Designer, it's going to piss off a lot of people, yo. So I don't think they're going to give it to him. I think out of all these people, the song that has the least chance to get the award is All the Way Up. But who knows? The Grammys might surprise you. Best rap song performance. So if you're a rapper and a singer and you collab, or if you're a rapper that likes to sing, I guess you can get nominated for this. Drake, Hotline Bling. Beyonce and Kendrick Lamar, Freedom. Dram featuring Lil Yachty. Broccoli. Kanye West featuring Chance the Rapper, Kelly Price, Kurt Franklin and The Dream, Ultralight Beam, and Kanye featuring Rihanna, Famous. I love Rihanna to death. Holla at you, baby. If she got the award for this record with Kanye West, I wouldn't be that mad. But I really don't think this song deserves this nomination. Just as a song in general, I think it's more controversy than anything because of the Taylor Swift line Um, then you got, I think the best song that's probably going to end up winning this would either be Drake's Hotline Bling. Out of all Drake's nominations, this is the most deserving. Any nomination, because I think there's another one for Hotline Bling. Out of all the nominations, out of all the songs, the whole record in general, I think Hotline Bling is the only song of his on his album that deserves any Grammy nomination. To be real, Drake only has one Grammy, and I would actually not be mad to see him take one of the two nominations for Hotline Bling. So I'm personally rooting for the Drake record, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kanye West or Beyonce get the nomination. I like the Dram record, but the only like the fact that just like with the designer thing, I think if Dram wins this, and that means by default, Lil Yachty's being featured on the song, he gets the Grammy award too. That's gonna piss off a lot of people. Don't give it to the Dram track. I love that Dram song, even with Lil Yachty. I think actually Lil Yachty fits that song better than anything I've ever heard him on before. But just for the fact that Lil Yachty could walk away with a Grammy, that's the reason why I don't want this song to get it. Best rap song, French Montana, Remy Ma, Fat Joe, All the Way Up, Kanye West and Rihanna, Famous. Why is this song getting another nomination? Drake, Hotline Bling, Chance the Rapper, No Problems, Kanye West, Ultralight Beam. Like I said, I wouldn't be mad at either Chance or Drake getting it, or Kanye for Ultralight Beam. I don't know why Kanye West and Remy Ma, Rihanna, Kanye West and Rihanna, excuse me, are up here for Famous, and French Montana and Fat Joe and Remy Ma. It's just cool to have Remy Ma and Fat Joe nominated for a Grammy, for two no less. So that would be the only thing. I really don't have no beef with this category at all. I would say maybe Hotline Bling has a better choice. If it doesn't get, I feel like whatever doesn't get the rap song performance is gonna probably get the rap song. So if Drake doesn't get rap song, he's probably gonna get rap song. Kanye gonna walk away with a couple of them though. Best rap album. Now I thought this one surprised me because of Schoolboy Q, Blank Face, and De La Soul, and the Anonymous Nobody album, which were great records. I just kind of surprised that the Grammys, gave them that nod like that. Chance the Rapper's Coloring Books, DJ Khaled, Major Key, Views by Drake, and The Life of Pablo are all also nominated for this category. I would say the least likely to win would be the Anonymous Nobody, of course. And I think it would be a big crime if Drake or Major Key by DJ Khaled wins this. Both of those, I know it's a popularity contest. So it's all about Drake's records that he's been breaking, or all the accolades he's been getting from this album being such a huge commercial success. And then DJ Khaled's songs have been all over the radio. Do You Mind? I Got the Keys. It's just he got a lot of hits off of this thing on urban radio. But I hate that album. It's not even really an album. It's just a collection of songs. It's different between an album and a collection of songs. All of the other ones I can at least say are albums. They feel like albums. DJ Khaled just feels like he just got a bunch of random songs together from a bunch of random people and put them all together on this. Please do not. Please do not do this. So I would say most likely the one I would want to win would be either The Life of Pablo or Coloring Books. It'll be a nice surprise if Schoolboy Q won it, but I doubt it. Do not give it to Drake, but he could walk away with it. Please don't give it to Major Keys. And if they try to pull a swerve and just pull De La Soul and they get another Grammy, that would be the biggest. That would prove that 2017 would be much better than 2016, in my opinion. That alone would just make the year for me. Best R&B Performance. BJ Chicago Kid, Turning Me Up. Roy James, Permission. Music Soul Child, I Do, Rihanna, Needed Me, Solange, Cranes in the Sky. I really don't think there's too much of a debate to say who had the bigger song of these five. I would say Rihanna's probably the most likely to get it. But if Solange was to pick up this Grammy ahead of Rihanna, I would not be mad at all. Out of the two, she's definitely, that's a better song, and I feel like it's a better album in general between the two. But if Rihanna walked away with it, I would not be surprised. I feel like she's the most likely to win. Maybe that Roy James could probably swoop in and maybe make a surprise, but I really highly doubt it. And those other two songs, I don't think is really on that many people's radar. I didn't even know Music Soul Child put out a song this year. That's why I'm like sitting here confused. Like, how did he get nominated? But I mean, it's probably good. I'll go back and listen to it later just because I said something. Best Urban Contemporary Album: Beyonce, Lemonade, Gallant. I don't know how to say that. The Gallant record, because I know I think it was his debut album, so it's a Gallant's debut. King, We Are King, Anderson .Paak, Malibu, Rihanna's Anti. I feel like Beyonce is probably most likely going to get this, and Rihanna is a close second. But I feel like the album that deserves this would be Malibu, hands down. The Gallant record was pretty dope. I didn't get to hear We Are King by King, but I heard a few songs off of it, and they were dope. But as a whole album from top to bottom, Anderson .Paak got Beyonce and Rihanna beat, in my personal opinion. And I feel like he deserves his Grammy more than either one of them. But we all know it's probably going to end up going to either Beyonce or Rihanna. And I mean, most likely it's Beyonce, but Rihanna could swoop in and take that. Shit, I'm kind of blowing through them. I can't remember what number I'm at right now, actually. I have one more. Best music video: Beyonce, Formation, Leon Bridges, River, Coldplay, Up and Up, Jamie XX, Gosh, OK Go, Upside Down, Inside Out. Formation, I feel like should definitely get this one. But I really like the Jamie XX video. That was very creative, honestly. I actually thought of an idea for one of my records, and it's kind of inspired by some of the stuff that I saw on the Jamie XX one. But I mean, if we're really being realistic here, it's probably gonna be a Beyonce. I think most likely Beyonce's got it, and that wraps it up. That was all the categories that I have the most interest in, or that have the most knowledge behind, to make an educated guess on who could get it. Let me know what you think. Let me know who you think is gonna win. And matter of fact, I would like everybody to hit me up and tell me if there was anybody that was snubbed from the Grammys that you feel like deserved it. I personally didn't think nobody really sticks out in my mind that was released in the eligibility realm. I would think Tribe Called Quest should definitely get it for the 60th Grammys, depending on whatever comes out between now and the next Grammy nominations. But I feel like as far as the next Grammys, when they come around, Tribe Called Quest and J. Cole both should get the nod. But let me know what you think. Tune in next week for another episode, and please cop your copy of Yes, I Am a Dreamer now on every digital music store and streaming platform. It's out now. You need a physical copy, hit me up. I got those printed and ready. And I'll see you soon. See you next week.